Hi, it's Beckito again. This is the first AMA that I'm going to do. I just got back from dinner with my brother and my bestie. We're celebrating my brother getting a job after like 2 years of not being employed, so good things happened today. Um, Questions that I'm going to answer are first from Baconius Maximus. He asked, seeing yourself on television is what motivated you. Do you think that if more people saw themselves in the same circumstance that they would take the same initiative? Why and why not? Um, I think that motivation is very individualistic, that what motivates me isn't necessarily going to be what motivates other people. It's possible that if somebody else saw themselves on the local news walking down the street and thought to themselves, oh my God, I'm the fat people, I'm the anonymous fat person on the news, um, it might trigger an emotional response and they might console themselves with cheesecake. I'm not an emotional eater. When I get stressed out or distraught or depressed or something like that, I tend to not eat. It's when things are going good and things like that that I tend to just be like, yay, food. And, I call it fat and happy, but yeah, it's not always that happy when I'm fat. So it's better that I, just eat healthy things instead of, cheesecake, because cheesecake is really good. But it's kind of like the public shaming. It's actually like they've done that study to find that it actually doesn't help. And I think in a lot of cases it's true that it just doesn't help, especially because, like me, I was aware of the fact that I gained a lot of weight. I was wearing size 18s. I was like, you know, almost gonna have to go buy more clothes because everything that I wore was frumpy and just too big, and I was too big, and I was starting to be like the person on the bus that nobody wanted to sit next to because then they'd have to like sit with half a cheek or something hanging off in order to do that. And I didn't want to be that person. I didn't want to. I knew who I was and how I felt. Um, People who maybe have never been fit before, and I have. I've had that experience of like knowing how awesome my body can be and like how far I can push myself. So I've had that experience before. It was one of those things that I knew what I needed to do to get to where I wanted to be. And I was just being lazy. I wasn't progressing anywhere because I was just a bit apathetic about it. And, apathy and entropy are the um, they're the enemies of success. They are the enemies of progress. And I wasn't doing anything. I was just letting it slide. I was coasting. But once I saw that, I realized that I needed to like put the brakes on that coast. I needed to reverse and get the hell out of there and do what I needed to do. There are a lot of people out there that they don't know what to do. They don't know how to save themselves. They don't know how to start. In like to them, it can seem like this insurmountable hill, this like giant mountain that they've got to climb, and they don't know how they're going to get to the top. And if all they can see, if all they're looking at is like that summit at the very, very top of this mountain that they're like way at the bottom of, they're going to give up. They're going to say, I can't do that. That's too much. Whereas, like with me, I know that I have to break it into chunks. I have to step one step at a time to get up that mountain. I can't focus on the end goal. I have to set myself, okay, I'm going to make it here, and then I'm going to make it there, and then I'm going to go there, and I'm going to go further. So, I know myself and how things can do that, but if I was just starting out, if I'd always coasted, if I'd always done that, it would have been much, much harder for me, and I don't know that that would have been sufficient motivation for me. It was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back for me because I'd had like all these other things piling up on top of me, like warning signs and things like that, that that was what really made me say, okay, that's enough. I have to take charge and do what I gotta do. All right. Another question that I was asked. Let me get that up. It's on here somewhere. Deviant Stranger asks, if you became a ghost, who or what would you spend the rest of eternity haunting? Which is that I've been thinking about that all night. Like, who would I haunt? And there are so many things to take into account. Like, would I haunt somebody that I like? Because I wanted to be around them always. And then what happens when they die? I'm gonna spend the rest of eternity like hanging around by their bones. Or, they're gonna hate me enough because I kept like knocking over their glass or something that they're gonna go salt and burn my bones. I thought maybe a place. But then places can change too. Like, there's a bar downtown that's supposed to be haunted. Maybe I'd go haunt a bar and hang out there, and then maybe somebody tear it down and build a library in its place. And that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. I could, lurk over the shoulder of the people in the library and read stuff, but what if they read faster than me? I can't, I can't deal with that. Maybe I'll just go haunt the gym and hang out by the squat rack and drop dumbbells on people who curl in the squat rack. Could spend eternity doing that, Plus, if there are guys there working out, can take their shirts off and think they're all by themselves, flexing. I can get a good eyeful. Although I'll be a ghost, so I don't know how much that would do for me. Nice question. Next question. Do you know how to twerk? Until 2 weeks ago, I didn't even know what twerking was. So the answer to that is no. I did watch a tutorial and try it in my cubicle at work. And let's just say that the world is much better off with me not knowing how to twerk. Alright, so the top 5. The number one thing on your bucket list. I'd have to say the number one thing on my bucket list is to visit all the countries in the world at least once, if not more. Just because I always want to travel and to see the entire world. And I'm not just talking about going and doing like some tourist trap sort of thing where you like stand in front of the Eiffel Tower and like take a picture, or that leaning Pisa thing. I want to go be where like the people are and see what they do and experience the culture of the places that I go to see. So that's what I would like to do. Number one thing, bucket list, travel. Hobbies outside of fitness. I am a knitter. I knit things. You might have actually seen I posted a hat that I knit in the brown coats group. It's pretty cool. I'm currently knitting some socks that are going to be my deadlift socks. I knit those on the bus. I also spin yarn out of fiber. I have like 7 spindles and a spinning wheel. So, because knitting's not weird enough, apparently. Plus, yarn is awesome. I actually have some of my hand spun yarn here. I made that. It's squishy! Anyway, so that's one of my hobbies outside of fitness. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? Well, I already have a couple of superpowers. Like, I am really, really good at coming up with excuses and procrastinating. That's like a really, 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 like, I have a talent at doing that. It's something that I don't think I've ever met somebody who is as good at procrastination and excuses as I am. It's just something I'm good at. I'm also incredibly talented at running into things. I can find the edges and corners on any coffee table with my shins. That is an amazing superpower. But, and I'm just realizing I'm probably like the crappiest superhero ever because of this, but you work with what you got. Real superpowers though? Flying, because that would be awesome. You could like go anywhere, do anything. It doesn't matter. No roads, no problem. Um, Least favorite exercise I'm still willing to do. I think life is probably a little bit too short to do things you hate doing, but probably my least favorite exercise that I will still do is overhead press. It is a bitch. It is a fucking bastard. And I am still doing it because it's probably like the best thing to increase like the strength in my shoulders and my upper body. But it is such a challenge for me. It is really hard because I'm a T-Rex. Most of my strength is in my legs and my butt. The rest of me is like wimpy and weak. Crap. So, it's a challenge, but at the same time, I really like being challenged. So, even though like I get aggravated and irritated when I have to do it, after I've like taken that challenge and been like really good at it, I'm like so triumphant. You don't even know. It's so awesome. Um, but yeah, that's probably, you know, my least favorite exercise that I'm still willing to do. There are other things that I hate more that I just won't do, like running. Not gonna happen. I don't run. I'm a heel striker for one thing. I get shin splints. It's not pretty. I have boobs that just like they'll smack me in the face if I run. Running is not my cardio. Ever. No. I'll do swimming. I will do bike. I will do rowing. Rowing's fun. Um, I will even in a pinch do the elliptical, although elliptical comes in like a close second to my least favorite thing to do. So, yeah. That's my least. How do I stay motivated? My motivation for this is wanting to spend like because I'm 36, right? I'm getting close to the big 40. I'm looking at possibly based on the longevity of my forebearers, another 50 to 60 years that I'm going to be kicking around. And I don't want to spend the next 50 to 60 years uh, monitoring my blood sugar. I don't want to be like afraid to go to the bathroom because I might break my hip. I don't want to be housebound because my knees are swollen from arthritis and having to have my joints replaced before I'm 60. I don't want to have all of these things happen to me later in life. I want to be able to enjoy it. I want to be 80 and still deadlifting because that's badass. And that would be awesome. So I'm taking the steps now. And like all through my youth, I was like, I'll have time. I can take care of that later. I've got other things that are important to me. And I really just needed to make this be important to me. And that's how I stay motivated, is just keeping that big picture, that goal at the end in sight, that, I want to be fit and active until the day I die. I don't want to be in a bed in a hospital or a nursing home and not be able to like even take care of myself. Yeah. So that's how I keep motivated. It's just knowing that that's where I want to go. That's what I want to do. And you know, it helps to have people who are supportive. Um, like my mom is really supportive of this. She thinks it's great that I've been doing all this. My husband, again, he's one of the biggest supporters of me doing this. I wouldn't even be able to have like gotten started without his help. He's like he cheers me on. He's like a cheerleader, a sexy, sexy cheerleader. Um, and just having like the community here, it's like awesome. I wake up and I scroll through the Fito feed and I'm like pumped by the time I get like 3 or 4 posts down on the group's feed, and I'm like I'm motivated. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go be awesome like all these other people that are around me. It's pretty cool. Anyway, thanks for listening. Hope you guys have a good night or a great day, wherever you are. Bye.